Another year, another Call of Duty game, another freak out about skill-based matchmaking. I'm writing the script for this video on August 28th, 2024, before the first beta is even out, before I've even tried the game, and I can already predict the online COD community in an outrage at Black Ops 6 having the worst SBMM in the entire series. Some people will be in shock and outrage at the game's atrocious SBMM, but I certainly won't, because Call of Duty never changes. Same shit, different game. Also, if you're from my last video on the Black Ops 6 theme where I said in the comments that I wouldn't be playing this game, despite the fact that there is gameplay on the screen right now, that is because this gameplay is from other YouTubers, all of which I have linked in the description. I've seen this song and dance of a game from Call of Duty every single goddamn year, and I am just not interested enough this time around to get involved in this game series for the 8th time in a row. I already know the same shit I will be in for. Anyways, I'm assuming you've clicked on this video in the future because you are outraged at the recent SBMM fiasco with Black Ops 6 that I predicted would happen before the game even released. You think to yourself, why the hell won't they remove it? But let me ask you a question. Why do we even want it gone in the first place? To start off, skill-based matchmaking is a universally good thing that has been around since at least 1960 when RPod ELO created the ELO rating system to judge and match chess players based on their relative skill levels. It has been used not just in video games since the beginning of time, but essentially in all forms of games, whether it is a board game or a sport. I'm not really a sports buff, but from what I can tell, there are always divisions or certain leagues in every sport, like Little League and shit like that. There are tryouts to make sure your skill is adequate enough to compete with everybody else. Pro sports players only play against other pro sports players who have proven themselves worthy opponents to create a fair, balanced competition. In regards to video games, just about every modern competitive game uses a skill matching system. Counter-Strike uses it, Valorant uses it, Rainbow Six Siege uses it, Rocket League uses it, Dota 2 uses it, League of Legends uses it, Overwatch uses it, etc. There have been no complaints about the matchmaking systems in these games in the same way that COD players complain about matchmaking. If anything, players of those games would likely complain that the matchmaking doesn't work well enough, as they get bad teammates and smurfs. Regardless of anything, the point is that skill-based matchmaking is a universally praised thing that doesn't even get any praise because it is just a standard, normal, obvious thing you do in a game where two or more people compete against each other. It's not something you have to think hard about, it's just obvious. Think about LeBron James playing basketball against a 2-year-old who can barely walk. He would likely reduce his skill level so the 2-year-old has a chance. He wouldn't just go full effort on the kid, you know? Look at an older parent playing a sport against their young child at the park or something. They will always play really dumb so the sport is a fair competition for the kid. Video games are still the same way. So, why are COD players of all gamers complaining about it the most? If you are one of the people saying the SBMM is ruining gaming, I advise you to play more games than just solely Call of Duty. Look up SBMM on YouTube and read the search results. Do you see Counter-Strike in any of the search results? Do you see Overwatch? Do you see Siege? No. The first result is SBMM off, a VPN designed specifically for Call of Duty. The next result is SBMM MW3, SBMM off Warzone 2, SBMM COD, SBMM Warzone, SBMM Black Ops 6. The only other game on that search list that isn't Call of Duty is X-Defiant, a game so similar to COD and so heavily advertised to the COD player base. If you look at all the hype for X-Defiant, none of it came from other FPS content creators, it only came from COD creators. Nero Cinema, Blame Truth, Tim the Tatman, Gilmore, Face Jev, Murder Show, Exclusive Ace, etc. This game was constantly compared to COD and was really only played by COD players, so it's safe to say that it falls in the same classification as COD in this example. If we look at the list of videos that pop up when you search SBMM, 95% of the videos are from COD channels or are covering SBMM in the context of COD. 5% of the other videos were from Apex Legends players. I've never played Apex Legends, but I hear it's kind of got some SBMM issues, but again. So it's safe to say that the SBMM problem is not a problem about gaming in general, but simply about Call of Duty, because no other game, except apparently Apex Legends, has this problem. So why are COD players complaining about it the most? Well, if we look at the metric for skill and success in Call of Duty, what do you think it would be? Ask any COD player what the metric for skill is in this game series, and you'll be met with 2 letters. KD. The game's whole metric for success is the KD ratio. Call of Duty is unique in this aspect, as it seems to be one of the only games that values this ratio at all, besides maybe like GTA Online and like older Quake deathmatch games. But both of these games share a very similar culture, the act of complete destruction, annihilation, and chaos. In most other competitive games, you are judged based on your wins and losses. These games are about fairness and winning. Call of Duty, however, is not. It is a game about domination, annihilation, and stomping. Watching that KD go up higher, getting higher kill streaks, slaying people even more with those kill streaks. No other FPS game has this. Most other FPS games are focused on the objective. So why don't COD players just play the objective in their own game? Well, that will be its kind of own entire video for a later day, but a short summary is essentially that playing the objective in COD sucks compared to other games. But anyways, we still haven't gone into how SBMM exactly destroys Call of Duty. We established that it has something to do with the KD ratio, but what does it have to do with that? Well, in terms of winning and losing, those are a binary statistic. You either win or you lose. Even if you lost by 1 point, you still took a loss. It doesn't matter whether it was just by 1 point, you still lost. This is why close matches in games that prioritize winning are so much fun, because you still get to take home that W, even if you are just 1 point ahead. COD and the KD ratio are the opposite. The KD ratio can go all the way from 0.00 to 9999.99. The KD ratio is essentially infinite, which means that you will always want it to keep growing. Part of the joy of COD is watching that KD ratio rise. When I started off on this game 8 years ago with Black Ops 3, my KD was a measly 0.48. A couple of months later, it rose to a 0.75, then to a 0.9, then to a 1.0, then to a 1.25, then a 1.5, then a 2.0, then a 2.5, then a 3. The KD ratio is constantly growing and evolving, and for most people, they want it to go as high as humanly possible. That is what brings them satisfaction in the game. The problem with the KD ratio is that it's kind of a drug. You get that KD ratio you wanted, but then you want more, as you leave yourself feeling kind of unsatisfied at being at the same KD ratio. When I played COD for the first time, getting a 2 KD match was my crazy pop-off match. The match where I went, holy fuck, that was insane. Nowadays, that same KD is below average for me. A match where I go, wow, that lobby sucked ass. It's like a drug. You get the high, but then you get used to it. So then you need more. And more, and more, and more, or else the drug just gets boring. You need more of it over time. And it's the same way with COD. Going 1.0 KD every single match is just boring. In other games, you get to experience that binary win-loss condition. If you win, you're happy. If you lose, you're sad. Most of the time, it'll be 50-50. But in COD, if you get a 1.0 KD, it's just apathy and frustration. Like, that sucked. What a boring-ass match. The game becomes stale because you can't get the KD ratio higher. As most of the COD community says, you're essentially playing for nothing, and you're just going to be punished for playing better. In any other game, you'll be winning and losing, so you'll have excitement and sadness saying, yay, I won, or damn, I lost. But in COD, you'll just be saying, 1.0 KD again, another 1.0 KD, another 1.0 KD. There is no win, there is no loss, there is just apathy. Not to mention the game's whole core mechanic of kill streaks. The only unique thing to Call of Duty at this point is the kill streaks. Other games have done class customization better, they've done leveling better, they've done map design better, they've done vehicles better, etc. But the one thing that COD has to show for itself is the kill streaks. Insanely powerful tools of destruction that gives players the abilities to inflict their inner sadism across a small 6v6 multiplayer arena. However, these streaks become unobtainable with SBMM. The whole kill streak system as a whole just relies on pub stomping. It relies on you being so unstoppable and above the other players that you just go on these unstoppable killing sprees, like playing recruit difficulty in the campaign. With SBMM, you can't get these cool ass streaks like the Chopper, AC-130, Juggernaut, and of course, the Nuke. At most, you will usually just be getting a UAV every now and then. COD's devs, especially Treyarch, try to neuter this and make it easier to get streaks, like making assists count as kills, labeling them as eliminations. I know that Black Ops 6 is doing this again, just like Cold War did. And in regards to Cold War, they just straight up remove the streaks from kill streaks, making it to where you can just get it by getting kills in general. But then at that point, the streaks completely lose their value, and at worst, they completely break the game. And this is why SBMM ruins COD, because COD is not a game about winning and losing. It's a game about high kill counts, high KD ratios, and high kill streaks. These things can never exist with SBMM. Some viewers might argue it is because the game is casual, but can you explain to me what that even means? Please, in the comments, if you are a proponent of this claim, explain what that means to you in the context of Call of Duty. Is it being able to just relax and chill to play a game? Then go play zombies or campaign, where there is no competition element. Playing an intense PvP game like COD 6v6 multiplayer to chill out. It's like taking an ice cold shower to relax after a long day instead of taking a warm bath. It's just a paradox. Is it being able to get kills with off-meta guns? Well, then blame the game design and the fact that COD devs can never seem to balance their guns properly. Don't hate the player, hate the game. The only complaints about SBMM come from the top 10% of players like myself, people who have gotten so used to high KDs and kill streaks. The reason COD players hate SBMM is because it is impossible for any player to ever achieve the community's metric of success in the game. As a result, the game just becomes stale and pointless. Why would you play a game that you can't win, or even lose, for that matter? With all that said, that is the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.